Hello and welcome back to Health and Wealth Conversations. And as always, I'm your host, Cecilia Mtuzea P, and my friend here,
Kelvin Malunga.
Thank you. And today we bring yet another interesting conversation. And I think it's something that we overlook when we talk about personal growth, we talk about success and intentional living, which is mostly what we target here at Health and Wealth Conversations. And, you know, we always hear people saying, know what you want, dream big, aim for success, aim big and all that.
Yeah.
But what if I told you that knowing what you want is just half of the equation?
Yeah.
There's another part that is left. Kelvin, tell us the other half of the equation.
And this half is what we will focus on in this episode. Yes, you know what you want, you know what you're looking forward to, you have your goals, you're looking, to establish some habits for yourself. But what about the things you do not want? Well, do you just not think about them? Do you just let them come with the things that you want? How do you navigate that part of your life? Exactly. So that's why we are here to have that conversation with you guys. Yeah.
Exactly. So knowing what you do not want is equally important as knowing what you want, and maybe even sometimes more important. You need to define that you do those things that you do not want. You need to be clear when you're setting your goal to say, okay, I want this job. In that kind of job, what is it that you do not want? I want this type of marriage relationship. In that marriage, in that relationship, what are the components that you do not want? So as I said, it is not only important, but it is also powerful to define that what you want and also what you do not want as you're pursuing success, as you're pursuing your health and your wealth.
Yeah. And that's why we're here to talk about this with you guys. Because at the end of the day, you also have to understand that there's a topic to discuss on boundaries and the power of saying no. And that comes when you both know what you want and what you do not want.
Exactly. So in the pursuit of our purpose, our dreams and our visions, we need to understand that life is not straightforward. It is obviously going to bring to us detours, distractions. And that's why we come here today with this conversation to say, therefore, what do you do when you've been taken away from your path to success? What do you do when your success is defined by a combination of other things that are leaving you to not be at peace? Do you still consider that as success, or it becomes something else? So that's what we're going to talk about.
And it's going to be an interesting conversation, and I want you to stay tuned and follow through with the conversation. And also, we always ask you to subscribe so that you're always reminded every time when we post a video.
Exactly. So today we're here having our coffee and tea at the baker, and I would like you to like this video and share to your friends and family, as always, that you think will benefit from this video, because I'm very sure you're going to benefit as we are benefiting.
Absolutely. Yes. Like, you remember the concept of health and wealth is like growing together, learning new things together and just having conversation and growing our friend group, So it's her and me as we are sitting here, but it's a friendship that also has been expanded and extended to you guys. So let's dig in.
Exactly. So, Kelvin, the first thing that I want us to talk about is maybe we're going to go back to 6 months ago when we sat right here at the baker and we started this podcast.
Yes.
at that time, we talked about goal setting.
Yeah.
And I think our conversation today is not so far away from that conversation that we had. Because if we are to start talking about what you do not want, then you first of all have to talk about what you want.
Yeah.
You know? And on that, I just want us to help each other on how you can be clear with what you want.
Okay.
Because I know that it is in knowing what you want that you're clear enough to know what you do not want.
True.
So maybe let's just remind each other as a group of friends how important it is to be clear on the vision and goal setting, you know, and also how this usual narrative that is there of dreaming big, aiming high and being successful is, yes, we need to target it.
Yeah.
You know, so how can we go about it?
Yeah.
And maybe in the 6 months after we set our goals, how's it going with you?
For me, it's been a matter of listening, you know, because every day I wake up, there's always something that's speaking to my heart.
Yeah.
If you sit down quiet enough and you really listen, you know, your passions are calling you.
Yeah.
You know, they are knocking on your door every day.
Yeah.
You know, they may be the same, you and me, we may share some in common, but everyone has there's a different calling for everyone.
That's true.
And it's either I'm waking up every day and there's a book I want to write, and it knocks on my door every day. So for me, in short, I would speak more about listening to your calling. You know, it's there, like everyone knows, like you know what you're supposed to do, you know. It's the reason why we sometimes feel not satisfied.
Yeah.
Because we are overlooking that voice. So sit down, listen to what that voice is telling you.
That's so true. You know, I think recently I've had that experience where, you know, you start doing something and it just spirals and it speaks to you to say, you should have started this a long time ago.
Yeah.
You start something and you feel like there's a voice telling you, I've been waiting for you, you know? And I agree with you 100% to say we always have that voice at the back of our heads that is always telling us, I like this, I want this. You see something, your face lights up, you know? And sometimes we maybe knowingly or unknowingly stay ignorant to those things that maybe sparks curiosity in us, or, you know, brings out the happiness that we're looking for. But I would say if you're trying to get clarity in terms of what would you want to pursue, what goals would you want to set, I think it's true. You need to really sit down, reflect, and listen to those voices.
Yes.
You know, as you see, they're always there. It's always there, like, I want to do this. And sometimes, yes, it's going to be, maybe I'm not ready, or maybe I cannot. But maybe you can.
Maybe you can. There's only one way to find out. And I also wanted to know, what about you? Like, in like brief, how would you explain this journey of knowing what you want?
I would say it's not easy, and I think for most of us it's like that, and more especially for people like me who you sit and you think you want to do everything. You know. So to now convince yourself to say, okay, I really want to pursue these million things that are here. It's difficult.
Yeah.
More especially when you're coming from spaces where people say, oh, you cannot do everything.
Yeah.
Or you're biting more than you can chew. You know, so it gets to a point where you're confused. You're like, maybe I am really biting more than I can chew. But then over time, what has helped me is when I think of pursuing something, I go for it.
You go for it.
Full throttle.
Okay.
Seriously, I'll go for it full throttle. Because, you know, it's in the second guesses that you end up doubting yourself. It's in the thinking too much, over-analyzing your potential that those negativity
begin to become louder and stuff.
louder and now they stop you.
They paralyze you.
Exactly. So to me, if I were to help someone out there who has set goals or they think they really want to do something, especially when it's something big, I would say
just
go in.
Just go in.
Go for it. Start. We have enough time to make mistakes, to
learn,
to start over, to stop and start anew. That's what I live for, because I have come to realize that life is an experiment. Nobody has lived this life before. You know, I love this song by Namadingo. It talks about that to say, you know, so there's no way you can tell me that what I'm going for will fail, because we haven't been there.
No, we haven't.
We all started today together.
Yeah, together. And what I like about your insight there is that it somehow simplifies the tough thing, because there's lots of videos where, for example, on YouTube that are like steps, 7 steps, 20 steps, and then it gets so confusing. Which steps should I follow?
Yes.
Which principles? Yes. Which laws?
Yes.
Which whatever?
Yeah.
But I think when you start, you will find the laws. You will find the principles, you will find so just start. I love that.
Because life is a journey of learning. And other people's, because the steps that you're finding, as you said, on YouTube, in books, they are other people's experiences. They will help you, but they do not mean you will go through the same things. And they shouldn't confine you in a bubble to say, only do this,
Wow, that's powerful. And I think it just gives us the freedom to say, you can create the laws as well, because those people are living the experience for the first time, like you have said, and it's not the gospel truth, but as you can learn from them, you combine it with your own experience, and then they become the principles that are suited just for you.
Guiding your life.
I like that a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on. After you know that you can do anything, as long as you put your energy in it. Now we want to talk about the most difficult part, in knowing what you do not want, because as we said, that is also important, and it's not superior to just knowing what you want.
Exactly, because we have a number of examples where people are actually in the places they wanted to be, but it has come with a constant kind of like derailing of their own principles as well. So it's a very important question to ask, and it's a very important discussion. That's why I like that everyone who is here with us is going to uncover this with us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So why is knowing what you do not want critical? That's what we're talking about. And I would like to just start by sharing real life examples that I'm very sure most of us have been in situations like that. Okay, and I should pose this as maybe a question to our audience and to you, Kelvin, to say you're in a relationship, and hypothetically you're in a relationship because you had this picture of the kind of person that you want to date, and you found them. Either it's physical characteristics they suit, and some social characteristics they also suit. But with it, they come with abuse. Everything else is fine. There's money, there's, you have a very good, vibrant social life. But the relationship is abusive. So you virtually ticked all the I want boxes in this hypothetical partner. But there's that thing now that it's not on your list. So what happens is that success. Is your relationship a success?
No, that is a very, very difficult question. The reason it's difficult is because it's something that we have rarely talked about and tackled, and there has to be that question on how much of what you don't want can you tolerate, or should you actually have zero tolerance to what you don't want, or what kind of compromise can you make? Because it's also the question I had myself previously in a relationship. It's like I heard so much about like compromise and all that, but how much of that should you be willing, and how much should be uncompromisable? Because I know there's some traits that people come with that you can discuss about them, we can talk about it, but then there are also some part, especially about me, that I'm like, we can't tamper with these parts. For example, someone coming in the way of you and your family, you and your mom, you and your dad, I think for me those are parts where are uncompromisable. So I think also that part of knowing what you want can somehow define that this is what you don't want. And if it comes, now that's the question I bring to you. It is there, it has come through what you don't want. How do you navigate that now?
I think that, to me, the first thing that you have to do is, as you, I don't know what people do usually, is it writing down or just knowing this perfect partner that you're looking for, a perfect job that you're looking for. With all those listed down, to say, okay, I want this salary, I want this kind of office, this kind of boss. You also need to now have the don'ts. This is, I do not want this. I do not want this in my partner. And this should be non-negotiable.
Yes, non-negotiables. Okay.
And when you're writing them down, you need to be sure to say, I can't compromise on this. As you said, there are things that you can't compromise, but that should not be at the expense of your own peace. You know, I know there are jobs out there, especially with jobs. I would say a lot of people are willing to compromise almost anything because it's money. We know we need to survive, and people don't have time. People don't have hobbies. People can't be at home with family. The bosses are rude and all that, and you know, you'll find a person says, as long as I'm getting that 5 million kwacha a month, I am good. That's why, to me, it keeps going back to, is it still success?
It's still success, yeah. Wow. Is it still success? And you know, there are things that others are willing to negotiate, which I am not willing to negotiate.
Yes.
And I think one should really define that in like you have said, with I, as me, you know, I'm not willing to do this. And also when you're talking about like the jobs and relationships, like this is what you don't want. I think also you should also know as a person that you're someone who is capable of finding what you want.
Yes.
You know? I know this has come with this, and I don't want this. But that's not the only option you will ever have. Although sometimes it looks like, for example, a job, it looks like, I don't think I'll find a job better than this.
Exactly.
I don't think I'll make this. And you look at your surrounding, you see that, wow, I'm making more money than my classmates, more money than my neighbors and stuff. And I just have to stay. You know? If you think you can't create options for yourself, you will accept what you don't want.
You will. You will. And it's unfortunate. I would say saying no to the wrong things is as important as saying yes to the right things.
Wow. I like that.
You sit down, you're writing that acceptance letter. It's as important as you sitting down and writing a rejection letter to say, you know, I would have loved to work with you, but I would have loved to continue this relationship with you, that it's as important as the day that you started that relationship and you were happy and you had all those future dreams and everything. So I think question yourself. When you're saying yes to things, question yourself. How much of my peace can I compromise? And that will come after you define what peace is to you.
What peace is to you, you know? And I just find what you've said very insightful, you know, about rejection letters.
Yes.
Like, we rarely do that.
We do not.
We just absorb whatever the environment is telling, is giving us, whatever, you know. That ability to critically sit down and say that, as much as A, B, C, D, but you know. I recently sat down with a friend of mine. We had a conversation, and she just came from Malawi. She was living abroad for 3 years. And she said that she couldn't do it anymore. A job that gave her quite a lot of money as far as Malawi is concerned. Like if you convert it back to Malawi. But she was never at peace, and she would burn, and she would cry, and she would be sick in a foreign country and be alone, you know? No one there to take care of her. She said no. As much as, and actually this is where what she said, like, as much as for my family, for my friends, I am way better, you know, I am way better financially, you know, as much as I go on vacation to other countries, but it's not serving me internally, you know, it's, and I just remember that it was not for her, not ticket, it was not, I don't want this box, you know. She had to tick it that I don't want this.
No, that's very important. That's a situation that a lot of us are facing, where you find that you're ticking all those boxes and you feel like this is where I want to be, this is the life that I dreamed of a few years back. But there's just this one thing that it is keeping me at night. There's just this.
It's not aligning.
It's not aligning. So it takes me back to what you said to say alignment. You have to make sure that your success is aligning with your vision.
Yes.
Because if you have a clear vision, if you're going through steps towards your vision, it's going to be clear to say, okay, this will not take you there. Because remember, a vision is the broader picture of the kind of life that you want to live, the kind of the impact that you want your achievements to make. That's what your vision is. It's not in the minimal successes that are coming from your goals, but how your goals now are building up the perfect you, are building up the satisfied you, the impactful you. So you have to now think about those things that are not ticking your boxes, those things that are in your I do not want list. How do they contribute to your vision? Because if you're in your vision, you're not a mentally distressed human being. Then you should know that everything that is giving you that stress, that distress and everything, then you need to take yourself out of that situation.
Exactly.
In as much as it might be almost a perfect life that you dreamed of, but if there is something that will not contribute or even maybe take you far from your vision, then it's not part of it.
It's not part of it. And I also wanted to make, I think, especially 2 points. One is these things you do not want. Not all of them will spring out of what you want, right? Some of them are completely far off. Far removed from what you want.
Yes.
We're talking about things like alcohol addiction. We're talking about things like pornography addiction. You're busy with what you want. You're ticking your boxes. But then there are these external don't wants that are there. And there is a part of you that has to fight. That has to fight because your vision, though they're not aligning with your vision, like you've just explained to us. And I want to talk about, first that they are not coming from what you want entirely. Some of them are external. But 2 is the kind of work you have to put in to physically remove them. So we're talking about actual pushing away.
Being intentional.
Yes, intentional. Like literally waking up and denying. Like literally denying. So it's like whatever it takes, but I am denying this. It may not work today. It may not work the following day, but you are constantly fighting. And what I have realized about what you don't want in your life is as you're fighting for it, and when the day comes when you have finally removed it out of your life, there's this realization that I had that there's an energy that you were using to get those things out. So with the law of energy is that it remains. It remains. You have successfully removed that. Where that energy is gonna go? It's gonna go towards the things that you want now. Because I think it's just a law. And physically speaking, if you have built muscle, like that muscle remains. It remains, and it will help you. Let's say you were going to the gym. It will help you carry other things outside the weights that you were carrying in the gym. So that it's also a form of encouragement to say that as you're fighting towards having the life that you want, the energy you are building is very important. And most people look at it differently. They think like it's a struggle, it's a challenge, it's a fight, but it's also a training. It's also something that has to be looked at differently, appreciated. Because I've had scenarios in my life where after I have successfully removed the things that I don't want in my life, I get to have a lot more energy to do what I want. So it's an encouragement, like keep fighting for what you don't want, keep fighting against it, right? And it helps. It helps.
That is so powerful to say fight. It's not just a matter of recognizing what you do not want. You have to fight that you take it away from your life. And what I wanted to add is it comes from self-awareness. You need to know yourself, because sometimes these addictions come in because you're not very sure of the kind of life you want to live, the kind of person that you are, and use the strength that you yield, and I'll give you you gave an example of alcohol addiction. You find some people that will tell you, I can't do this without alcohol, and so I need to be drinking, and it ends up that becomes
the framework,
exactly. And they really, because once you tell yourself you cannot, they can't do that really without alcohol. So you need to be self-aware, and you need to create positive boundaries. And these boundaries are not just from other people. Protect yourself from you. Okay?
Wow, can you explain more about that?
For example, pornography addiction, I'll take from what you had mentioned. I know some people would be exposed to it maybe from friends at school and all that, but other people, it's them. You go searching for that on your own. So you need to protect yourself from yourself. You need to, there's sometimes this freedom that we have that we've given ourselves that can make us but can also break us. I'll give a very good example. I like telling people, friends or especially young girls, about the freedom that you have when you stay alone. When I meet my students or young people that I usually interact with, they're like, it must be nice staying alone and all that. I say, it is very nice. You have the freedom. But what I add to that is it is also difficult because you have to parent yourself. There's my mom is not there to tell me to not stay out till this time. I need to give myself a curfew. That curfew is as important as the freedom that I have.
Wow.
So that's what I mean by you need to protect you from yourself. It's very important. And as you're setting your don'ts, let's not just rush to look at the external, to look at other people. I do not want this type of boss. Okay, but what type of employee do you want to be and do you not want to be?
I like that.
Because you also have to be a certain type of person if you do not want some things.
Wow.
You do not want to be addicted to pornography, then stop watching it. Block all the sites. You have that freedom.
Yeah, that freedom.
And you have to make sure that before you protect yourself from an abusive partner, you do not have to abuse yourself first.
And once I think you find out that you are someone who can protect yourself from you, you gain a kind of power that, I mean, if I am able to care and love myself like in this way, there's no way I can tolerate someone else.
No one will break you.
Wow, that is
No
profound.
one will break you because you know, you're very sure that I wouldn't do this to myself. Then why should I allow another person to do that to me?
Not only that as well, but also I have stopped myself from doing this to myself.
Yes.
Wow.
So, we give ourselves we allow ourselves to do so much to ourselves that it blinds us. We become deaf to the point that when that same thing, that bad thing is being done onto us by another person, we think it's okay.
It's okay.
We think it's okay. You do not allow yourself to have a good life. You do not have ambition for yourself. You do not allow yourself to be happy. How are you going to recognize that somebody is actually hindering your happiness?
When you have normalized that.
You've normalized.
Yeah.
You haven't allowed yourself to be at peace.
And even one small mistake and you're like, I'm a stupid person.
Yes.
One small, I'm crazy. You keep saying these things to yourself. And if someone else is to say that, you're just gonna be like,
it confirms what you've done to yourself already. It confirms what you've been through already.
Wow, it starts within.
It starts within.
Yeah.
The don'ts that we're talking about, you do not want that kind of a partner. Yes, list that down. But what kind of a partner do you also not want to be to the other person?
Wow.
It's both ways. And I think it gets easier when it starts from you. When you have clearly defined what kind of a person you want to be. You have told yourself that you want to be all these nice things and you do not want to be all these bad things. Then if it's coming from the outside, now it's going to be very easy for you to notice. No. I can't even do that to myself. I like doing that. I like doing that a lot. Like, I notice someone doing something, if my instincts are like, I can't even do that to myself, then who the hell are you to do that to me? I remember subconsciously I've been in situations where I would say, my parents wouldn't even do that to me. My parents wouldn't say that to me. I wouldn't say that to myself. You shouldn't. Not in any circumstance. That's why it gets easier. It gets easier to say no. It gets easier to say yes to the right things.
And people also know who you are. They know how to relate to you and how to talk to you. Yeah. Because you're telling them that you talk to me like this, boundaries. Not like this. Yeah, the boundaries.
So there's a very important role that boundaries set when it comes to why it is very critical to know what you do not want. In as much as knowing what you want is as important. And there's an important role that self-awareness is going to play as you want to define what those things that you do not want and you do not want to become. You might be successful. I think we see this a lot in Hollywood, where there are a lot of millionaires in US dollars, billionaires in Malawi, quite successful, beautiful looking people, but most of them are drug addicts. Is that still success? Millionaires, billionaires, but there's some criminal activities that they're doing. Should we still call that success? Remember a conversation that we had on role models?
Yeah.
And there's also a thing that I mentioned to say. When you're selecting someone to be your role model, what is it that really you're looking at? Because when you have that, you need to know that, okay, this person, I follow these traits from this person, but these ones, no.
Because as long as they're human beings, they'll have the don'ts. Yeah, they'll have the don'ts.
So do you just say blindly follow every post they make, even if it's stupid? Do you like? No,
not at all.
You have to know the don'ts from people that you follow.
Because even if they fall down in other areas, you still be like, but they did well in this area, there's something to learn from.
And do not fall with them.
You don't fall with them. That's true.
So how do you get clear on what you do not want?
Very, very important.
Because it's broad. It's very broad, and if somebody would just say, list down what you do not want, I think the list would be as long as the list of what you want. But how do you get so clear that these things are really, really important, and they're really the things that I do not want in these aspects of my life? How do you get that clarity?
For me, I think from past experience, like you have already mentioned it. I think also part of the answer are things that you mentioned, really smart things, like you said, self-awareness, and I just want to repeat something that I find really interesting about what you said. The past experience. I don't know if this is what we said in the show or outside the show, but you mentioned that we have lived long enough that there is a history of ourselves that we can learn from. We have been in a relationship before. We know what was literally not working. That can teach us, that I don't want that. Looking at the past is a good window of knowing what you don't want. But also the lives of the people we love, the lives of the people we dearly love, and we just wish that we know they are amazing human beings, but if only they were not chain smoking, if only they were not womanizing, if only they were not, stingy. I don't know.
You are stingy. So now that is talking about you.
Because we get to see wonderful people with such great potential. And we know how better they can, and not like we want them to actually follow that script. We don't do this, don't do that. Everyone with their own trouble. But just also helping us know what kind of person we should not be. Like what you were saying. What kind of employee should you be? What kind of boss should you not be? Having experienced several bosses in my life, I know that there's this one particular boss was doing this, and I don't want that to be part of my time as a boss or as a CEO or as someone like that. So those two things, like the people you love, your past experience personally, I think that's what's coming to my mind.
I think I agree with you, especially on past experiences. It's almost our rule book that we personally have, in our hands. That you can simply just sit back and go through to say, from this, what did I learn? So for you to get clear with what you do not want now or in the future, you have to look at those experiences, isolate them, and think what felt wrong, what drained you. If it's a relationship, what was that breaking point that told you to say, this is not the place that I should be in. You know, if it's a job, what was that most draining situation that you went like, you know what, I quit? Those are your don'ts. So you have to list them, and if they're coming from your real life, then you have to list them down as non-negotiable. Because if they almost broke you, or maybe they even broke you, then you in the future you can't negotiate on that. You can't compromise on that, because come on, you want to go through the same thing again.
And you know what happens also with life? It keeps teaching you the same lessons until you learn.
Until the day you say, okay, this is negotiable. I will not compromise on this again. Until then.
But you don't want to learn the same thing over and over again.
It's actually, it's not worth it.
So I agree with
it's
you.
Not worth
there are so many new lessons to learn.
Exactly. So let's take our past experiences as our rule books, as our lessons, really lessons to tell us what kind of a life we want, and also what kind of a life we do not want. Because we've been through both happy and sad. We've been through peace and distress. So those are the easiest clarity that are going to come to us to say, you know what, I think I learned, and I really do not want this. And the other thing is, also maybe even coming from, as you said, family, people that are friends, family, people that are around us, and even also past experiences, you have to ask yourself, what are you available for? And what are you not available for? Really tell yourself to say, no, not this. I might be free, I might have the money, you know, I might even have all the resources to do this or to be there, but I will not make myself available. You know, I will go back to an example you used to say, alcohol addiction or even pornography addiction. If it's alcohol, you literally just need money. If it's pornography, all you need is a phone and a bundle, you know. But once you tell yourself that no matter what I have, no matter the price on this, I'm not available for it. Yeah, I do not want it.
That is
so I think that's another way that you can get clarity on what you do not want in your life.
Wow, guys, this is like a very amazing episode.
It is.
Honestly, I'm learning so much, and I just can't wait for us to share this to everyone else, to our friends. And
it's our comeback after taking a break. We're glad that we're here. And just a reminder to say, as much as we're all fighting for what we want, it is also important to fight against what we do not want, to make sure that we have that clarity of the things that we do not want our life to look like. It's not just a matter of painting the perfect picture of the things that you want, the kind of partner that you want, the kind of job and salary that you want. It's also a matter of painting a very clear picture of what those things should not come with, you know. And you know what is also more important is to make sure that your actions align with your desires and dislikes. What I mean by that is, it's not just enough to know and list down what you do not want, but it is also more important to make sure that your actions are showing that you really like that thing. You really want to become that. And also, your actions are showing that you do not want to become that. You do not want to be that person. You might not be there yet, but people should tell. If you stand or if you pass by and you tell someone that you want to become that kind of a person, are people going to believe? With what you're doing now, with the actions that you're taking now, will people believe that your vision is that?
Yeah, wow.
So, to me, I think it's important to make sure that your actions are aligning with your do's and your don'ts, with the wants and the don't wants. So that it's easier even for you to pursue. Because, sometimes we make our own lives difficult. We want one thing, we're doing another. Therefore, we feel like what we want is unattainable.
When we are sabotaging ourselves.
Yeah. You want a fit body, like we all do. That's what we wrote down, remember, in January when we were writing goals. But when did we stop going to the gym? When did we stop eating right? Are our actions aligning with what we want? And today, as we go and sit down, reflect on our experiences, on the lives of people that we've been part of, and also add to our goals. Now we are adding what I do not want.
Yeah.
When we do that, are our actions aligning with that kind of a person that we do not want to become?
For me, also, as part of the final words that I want to say,
yes,
I think we should understand that we are capable of removing what we don't want. And I think it's very important to know your own power, that you can do it. You can do it. It is going to take time. And I remember recently reading the Bible, the story of Noah.
Yes.
And how God sent a flood. It was a process. Take the animals of each kind. Separate them, build an ark. It was like days and days.
Yes.
And what I liked the most was the fact that, it's the same animals that are going after the flood. The same animals will come back, But then there was some revelation that came to me that it was about the environment, The flood was to the earth, removing everything, And it was a matter of days. The rain came for some days, and they had to wait until the ground has settled. So it's something that we have to understand is going to take time, and allow yourself to go through the process of whatever we've talked about. Like make sure your availability. What are you available for? What you just said. What are your actions showing? All of these things are not things that will just happen one day. Allow yourself to go through the process.
No, that's very important. And as we're leaving our audience, all I would like to say is please reflect on the things you do not want today. And if you would like, share them with us. Remember, we are in this together as a friends group. So share with us. Share with the friends that you trust, that you're going through this journey with. What is it that you want? What is it that you do not want? And from me, I'll just leave you with one quote that I found when I was doing my research to say, success is not just about what you say yes to. It's also what you say no to without an apology. So that's going to contribute to your success.
Thank you for that. And for me, I just want to say that I've had a wonderful time. talking to Cecilia. And
Thank you.
as always, it's always a good time. And I want you to share this episode to your friends. If you found it really insightful, share it on your status, on your Facebook, and remember to like and subscribe, and also comment.
Exactly.
Tell us what you liked about the episode. We really, really appreciate hearing from you guys.
Exactly.
And until next time, from me, Kelvin Maunga, and my friend
Cecilia Mtuzea Piri.
it's bye for now.
Bye.
Yeah.